My name isn't really important. Just call me Anna. I'm half Korean, half American, and I never thought much about it, until something noticed me that night. I grew up in a quiet town in Vermont. People always say it's peaceful, safe, and calm. But that's just what they want you to believe. Safety is an illusion. And that night, I realized how fragile it really is. I was walking home after a late shift. The air was cold, the kind that makes you shiver even with your coat on. Vermont nights are unnervingly silent, like the world itself is holding its breath, waiting for something you can't see. Only one streetlight was working on my street. Its yellow glow barely touched the dark edges, leaving shadows so deep they seemed alive. That's when I first heard it. Footsteps. Slow, soft, dragging slightly on the pavement. Someone, or something, was behind me. At first, I thought it was just another late-night walker. Maybe a neighbor. Maybe my imagination. But when I turned around, there was no one. Just a shape. A tall, thin silhouette standing perfectly still under the flickering streetlight. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. It just watched. Its presence made the night feel heavier, darker, like a shadow pretending to be human, but missing every detail that makes a person real. I tried to walk faster, hoping to put distance between us, but the footsteps matched my pace. When I slowed down, they slowed. When I stopped, they stopped. I could feel it waiting for me to make a mistake. Then I heard it whisper, not in English, not in any language I knew, but somehow I understood. Come back. Ice ran through my veins. My legs shook, but I kept moving, trying to convince myself I was imagining everything. When I reached my porch, I turned one last time. The silhouette was still there, patient, silent, watching. Its thin frame barely touched the streetlight, but somehow it felt enormous, like it filled the entire night. I slammed the door and locked it, pressing myself against it, gasping for air. The silence returned, but it didn't feel safe. It felt like the quiet was waiting, listening, calculating its next move. Even now, I can see it in my mind. The tall, thin figure, standing, watching, waiting. And I know if I ever step outside again, it will still be there, patient, hungry, and ready for me. Since that night, I haven't walked alone after dark. I barely sleep. Every shadow feels like it's following me. Even now, as I type this, I keep checking the windows and doors, making sure nothing is outside. I'm still here, but I don't feel like myself anymore. Every night I hear the whispers again, and I know it's still watching. Just call me Ethan, not my real name. I'm an American traveler, and I never imagined that my trip to Africa would turn into a nightmare. I could never forget. It started when I visited a remote village in Ghana. I wanted to experience the culture, see the landscapes, and take pictures of the wildlife. Everything seemed peaceful, almost too peaceful. The villagers were friendly, but there was something strange in their eyes. Every time I asked about the nearby forest, they would shake their heads and whisper warnings I didn't understand. Something about never walking alone at night. I laughed it off. On my second night, I decided to explore the outskirts of the village. The sun had just set, and the horizon was painted in dark reds and purples. I was alone, my flashlight cutting through the thick darkness, feeling the wild sounds of the forests around me. Then I heard it. A strange, wet, slithering sound on the ground. Something moving faster than it should, yet without a regular gait. My heart sank as I realized it was following me. I turned around. Nothing familiar appeared. But in the dim light, I caught glimpses of something large, hunched, with long limbs bending at impossible angles. Its skin glistened like wet stone, and its eyes, if they were eyes, glowed faintly like embers. It didn't walk like a human or animal. It lurched and slithered, moving in jerky, unnatural bursts. The air around it felt heavier, colder, as if the night itself recoiled in fear. I froze. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought it would give me away. Then I heard a low, guttural hiss. Not a growl, not a whisper. Something between a scream and a warning. It was directed at me. I ran blindly. Branches tore at my arms and face. Its movements were everywhere at once, behind me, in front of me. I could hear it sliding across the forest floor, impossibly fast, yet silent when it wanted to be. When I finally reached the village, the huts were empty. The villagers had vanished. The fire pits were cold. My guide was gone. The creature was nowhere in sight, but I could still feel its presence pressing against my back, watching my every move. I hid in an abandoned hut for hours. At dawn, I found footprints. They were enormous, wide, and irregular, like something that shouldn't exist. They twisted through the dirt and back toward the forest, as if it had circled me, waiting. Since that night, I've been back in America. I tell myself it was a hallucination, exhaustion, or fear of the unknown. But I know the truth. I sent a message to someone I met in that village asking what it was, what that creature really was. I'm still waiting for an answer. Thank you for telling my story, for sharing what happened. I don't know if anyone will believe me, but at least now, someone knows. Hi, I'm just a regular guy. You can call me Jake. I don't usually share stuff like this, but this happened to me after I moved to a small town in America. I found out about it by accident, scrolling late at night online. I didn't even know if anyone would believe me, but, well, here it is. It started when I moved into an old rental house near a forest. The locals warned me about Black Hollow, a place everyone avoided at night. They said strange rituals happen there, but I thought it was just superstition. I should have listened. The first night I heard chanting outside my window. Faint at first, like whispers carried by the wind. I looked out. Nothing. Just the shadows of the trees. But the next night, it got louder. The chanting sounded almost human, but not quite, like voices trying to imitate people. Curious, I followed it. I grabbed my camera because evidence, right? The deeper I went into Black Hollow, the colder it got. My flashlight flickered, even though I had fresh batteries. Then I saw her, a woman, or maybe not fully human, standing in the middle of a circle of candles. Her eyes glowed faint green, and she held a small doll, stitched together with hair and fabric. She turned slowly. I swear, she smiled. But it wasn't a normal smile. Her lips moved in ways that didn't match her face. I froze. My camera slipped from my hands. She whispered something I didn't understand, but somehow, I felt it in my mind. Before I could run, she raised her arms. The trees around me bent like they were alive. Roots twisted, blocking my path. I heard voices, my neighbors, my friends, but they were calling me from the shadows, telling me to step closer. My body, I couldn't move. Then suddenly the chanting stopped. Everything went silent. I blinked, and she was gone. Just the doll remained, staring at me. I grabbed it and ran home. The next day, I tried to show it to someone, anyone. But when I looked closer, the doll's face had changed. It looked like me. I panicked. That night, I woke up to a faint sound, like tiny footsteps circling my bed. I turned on the light. The doll was gone. By morning, it was back in the same spot, but the stitches on its face were rearranged. And written on the wall, in something that smelled like burned hair, were the words, "I saw you too." I left the house immediately. Police found nothing. Friends didn't believe me. But I'm keeping this warning, because some things in the forest aren't just stories. Thanks for letting me share my story. I never thought I'd tell anyone about this, but thank you, Midnight Snacks, for letting me speak. I hope this channel grows and more people hear your narrations.